Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing 10 items that you're going to need out in the field while you're wild camping. Now I've been camping now for roughly, I would say about 5-6 years, and I started getting into it and I literally had nothing hardly. It was stuff that I've had since I was a kid. I wasn't properly into it at the time, it was just a bit of a one-off. And me and my mate Ray, I have told this before in one of my other videos, we went up, what's it called again? Hike up Nick. And it might have been the worst experience camping in my life. And I'll tell you why. I was unprepared. We didn't look at the weather. We didn't check out the route properly. I didn't have the appropriate footwear. And also, I didn't have the correct equipment for inside the tent. That's what we're going to discuss. 10 things which I've learned from personally, from my mistakes, which hopefully will help you so you won't make these mistakes. Let's get into it. Number 1 is going to be your tent. Now this is what I've gone for, this is me going to one at the moment. It's the OEX Puma 2.1. I've had this for a few years now. It's a geodesic design, which means it can withstand gales and the bad weather. It does alright. It's big inside and it's really easy to put up. And you can share the load with a pal or your partner. It's a lot easier. It's 5,000 hydrostatic head and it's simple. It's so simple to erect. This is my go-to tent at the moment. I used to have the OEX Bandicoot 2. That was also amazing. But the one that I started off with, which is actually one of my most viewed videos, is me Euro Hike Backpacker Deluxe. That was an amazing tent. Unfortunately, over using it that many times, things started to break on it. So I just had to get rid of it. I did keep the parts, so there's some advice for you. Keep parts of the tent, because some of your friends and family might have that same tent. They could use that. So there's number 1. Number 2, boots. Incredible things that go on your feet. Now you've got to do your research on these. You can't just go out and buy a pair of boots. Well, you can, but it's just pure luck if it's going to be really good for you. At the moment, I've got me Brasher or Braciers, as people pronounce it. These are doing me. I love the Vibram soles. These they are quite waterproof. They're not, they do leak in eventually, but at the minute they've done alright for me. My feet have got a bit wet over the past, but that's when it's torrential rain. But these do me. But do your research. When you go and fit them on, you want to be putting them on and walking about. Wear a pair of thick socks. Walk up and down, because some shops have these little like fake mountain hill things that you can just walk up a little bit and walk down. And you'll be able to see your toes feeling the bottom off, the back of your foot slipping away if it's too tight around your ankle. Do your research. Get the right pair of boots, because they're not cheap. Your pair of boots could be the most expensive thing out of your whole kit. Number 3. Right. Sleeping bag. Now I've got a story behind this. Again, on one of my first expeditions out camping, I literally had a sleeping bag from when I was about 10, because I didn't look into the research. I didn't look into it, how well your sleeping bag needed to be. So I went in, camping, it was Baltic, it was sleet and snow outside, and I was terrible. It was a terrible night, but I'll tell you what saved us. Look at this. Best thing I've ever bought this, an emergency sleeping bag. It's like an all-weather bag. But I think if I didn't have this, I would have been in a bad way. Like, I got into this, into my sleeping bag. I had my coat on and that, and my hat. I just managed to get through the night. That's just adding that in there. So let's say 3.1. But yeah, your sleeping bag. This is my go-to. My OEX Evolution Bantam 400. I absolutely love this to bits. It's so warm. I think I paid around about £50 for it, and that apparently it was on the sale. But it's brilliant. I've been using this for a year now. Obviously I don't use it in the summer because it gets too hot. It's a 4-season sleeping bag. You need to go through the seasons and have, if you want, different bags. Now I've been using this for about a quarter of the year when it starts getting a bit nippy, and then through the summertime I have got a 2-season sleeping bag which I can totally get away with. But honestly, this is amazing. The OEX sleeping bags are brilliant. Give it a try, and I've still got the tags on, look. I've just kept it really well. Again, do your research of what you want, because they're all different. You know, you might get synthetic material, or you might get I forgot what it's really called now. Down-fill, or you might get down-filled sleeping bags. They're all different because some have different kinds of like benefits and there's negatives about them. But it's definitely worth doing your research. I haven't got time to tell you now. Number 4. Mat. Bed. What you're going to sleep on. That's what I'm on about. At the minute, I'm using the Thermarest. It's a Pro Light, I think it's called. The story behind this, I've literally got a story behind everything I've got, by the way. But the story behind this, I did a bit of research of what I could afford, and it just so happened I came across the Facebook store, and a lady was selling Thermarest Pro Light for 20 quid. So I messaged her saying, is it in good nick? She showed us. Anyway, she also gave us a Thermarest chair that goes with this. Bargain. Anyway, again, they're all different. They have the insulation scale, the R rating. You can go up to, I don't know, I think it's 7 or something like that, even 8. That's really high and really expensive. The lower it goes down, it's going to get cheaper. Not always, mind, but it will. And it just depends what you like. So far, I've had the Thermarest, I've had the OEX one, I can't really call it now, but I've had the OEX, I've had one off Amazon which was really thick but it didn't have an R rating. They've all worked fine. Even a roll mat, when I first started out, it worked fine. So it just kind of depends what suits you, what kind of level of comfort you want. But this Thermarest, I'm not kidding you, it's fantastic. I was going to do a video on this, but the weather outside was terrible, so inside's not the best to be doing these kind of things, rolling it out and blowing it up and rolling about in it. But yes, have a look. Have a look at the prices, because they do vary massively. I have mentioned in the other video, start small, so just get a basic one, something that's going to get you by, and then if you like that and it does the job and you've got a big poke behind you, go and get a better one in the near future. 5. Gloves. Definitely one of my most essential items in the bag, and I'll tell you why. Because I haven't been diagnosed with this, but I think I've got it. My mother thinks I've got it. That Raynaud's in your hands. So my hands get cold unbelievably fast, and it's not nice. It hurts. You can always tell because your fingers go a different colour. My hands gone purple and my fingers are going white immediately when I'm out in the cold. So gloves. So again, I did a bit of research on this myself. There's different ones, thicknesses, styles, materials, and I've gone with the Checkmate Gore-Tex. They're really warm, but they're not that thick. I can still get by with doing general things around the camp while wearing these. Also, it comes with these little grip bits on the end, which really does help. Now again, I reckon I've got, and my wife hates us for this, I've got about 7 pairs of gloves, because I just keep buying them. When I'm on the shops, I'll just buy. My other best pair I've got from these is a pair of technical gloves. They are brilliant, thicker than these, so when the weather gets a bit more nippier, I always take these, and then I'll take an extra pair of gloves. 2 pair of gloves, it's going to keep your hands nice and warm. Honestly, there's nothing worse than when you're out and your hands are frozen. If you've experienced this, have a comment, let us know the crack, because I've had some of my mates who's nearly been in tears whose house and myself because my hands have been cold. Aye. Number 5, gloves. Number 6, cooking equipment. I'm mixed emotions with this because I've had lots of different designs and materials of cooking, different brands and whatnot. So upstairs in my little tiny man cave, what I've got is, I've got about 3 different types of gas stoves. I've got the Trangia stove, and I've also got the really old school style with the blue, and you put the gas in and you screw it on. Can't recall now, but I've also got them. I've had a wide range of different stoves, but this is what I've gone for. And again, there's a story behind this. I'll just try and get the lid off. Oh, first time. Right, so this is just a basic gas stove. Yeah, it's packaging. Now, in one of my other videos, I have mentioned that for my Christmas box, I do want a stove with its own ignition. And I'll tell you why again, on one of my videos, if you watch this video here, it's in one of the corners, wherever it's at, you'll see us eat ketchup sandwiches, because that's all I had to eat. I didn't bring a lighter, matches, or flint and steel or nout. So I couldn't cook me delicious food which I brought. But this, I've had it out today, and I've had a go, and love it. I absolutely love it. Everything just pulled out, so you can see there, that's the size of it. That attaches to the gas. Turn the gas on, and as you can hear, listen to this. Where's it at? Is that it? I don't want to make myself here. Listen to this. That's going to ignite the gas stove. So now, unless this knacks up, I'm never going to eat ketchup sandwiches again when I'm out. I'm always going to have some good, decent bait. But again, do your research. Some people like the Trangia. Some people like the gas stoves. Got the old style gas stoves. You've got them little ones which I've also got, which I've never used. It folds out and you put these little kind of gel cubes in. You put them in. I've had a go with them before, but I couldn't get away with that. It seemed to take too long to boil my water. Where these, you're talking just a few minutes. But yeah, do your research on that again. They do come varied prices. Again, maybe start small, see what you think. My first gas one that I got, that was more money than most, was the OEX Etna. I think it was about 15 quid at the time. And new, obviously, and it's screwed onto the top. And I bought a base that clips onto your gas, just to keep it stable. That was brilliant. £15. Probably at the time, it was probably the best money I spent. Because that got us by quite a lot. But it didn't come with its own ignition. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. The cutlery, we'll also put this in with stove. Always have a little knife, nice and sharp. I've got the Opinel, whatever you call it. Lovely little knife that, comes in handy. And I've got my little wooden spoon. And I've also got one of them big titanium knives in my bag. But yeah, think about what you need because it's going to be important. Eating wise, you're going to need a bowl, something to cook on, a pan I mean. And it's got to be a good size as well because if you want to boil your one of them ready meals, you have to put it in, don't you? Or you can have the ones where you have to pour the hot water in. Either way, you're going to need a good size bowl. I'm going to add this in with the cooking equipment. So this is called like a Windbreaker, so to speak. And it comes in a little pack, it just unfolds out. This is the OEX version. And what it's got is, it's got 2 pegs on the end here. I come out and you'll hear this go down. You'll hear it slot. There, it's slotted down there. You might be able to see that in the camera, Louise. And that's going to go into the ground and keep it stable. Won't move in the wind. And it's going to keep away that breeze affecting your flame. And it's absolutely ideal. So get yourself one of them. It's only a couple of quid. And it is highly valuable. Number 8 is coats, jackets. Now this is what I've got to show you. This is what I've built up to. I've started from just getting basic jackets. And I'm not going to lie, they were from second-hand shops. You know, like 5 quids and that. But they did us back then. And I've worked my way up a little bit. So this is what I'm using at the minute. And I love it. I've got the Berghaus Pack Light jacket, Gore-Tex, and it's absolutely brilliant. It folds down to a handy little size. I've got a torn little bag that will go in your bag and it'll take up a small amount of space. But as I've learned, they've all got different designs, they've all got different abilities to withstand the horrendous conditions outside. Now so far with this Berghaus Pack Light one, I've had no bother with it. It's fantastic. Best one yet. The one I started out with was just a little regatta one. Can't remember what you call it now, but it was a regatta and it got us by. It did leak in through the seams and I bought some Fab Seal. I patched it up a little bit, it worked for a little bit, but then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. But then I had just thought, right, I'm going to have to upgrade here. So I splashed out and I got a good coat because you're going to have to. You're going to need a good jacket so you're not getting bloody satched when you're out there. You'll be lathered in water or sweat because if you're wearing too much gear, sometimes you can't win. It's either going to be lashing down or you're going to be sweating too much because you might have too many layers on. Talking about layers, this is me night coat, I like to call it, for the winter. Now, you've got to get wrapped up, as mentioned in the start of the video. This is the, I forgot what it's called now, I'll have a look. I forgot actually. It's Rab, I can't remember what you call it. I think it was Rab Electric, something like that. And I love it. Got this from Go Outdoors. And it is the warmest thing I have ever had in my life. But I don't wear it while I'm hiking because I get too warm, I start sweating, and it's just not nice when you finally sit down somewhere and you're all wet. You've got to layer up. So start from your base layer. Have your coat on, see how you feel. If you're too cold, maybe just put a fleece on under your jacket and that might do you. Just think if you wear hat and gloves and that in the cold, that'll also keep you warm. But you have to think about your body as well. Is it too hot? You're going to sweat. It's not nice. So get yourself a nice coat. Maybe spend a few pounds on what you want though, on what you can afford. But at the end of the day, you might learn the hard way. I've had a few times with me old regatta coat. I was absolutely drenched when I got to the place where we're going to go camping. But you live and learn. And like at the end of the day, you can only get what you can afford, can't you? Let's not joke about that because it's true. And when I first started out, I wasn't ashamed. I was getting stuff from the second-hand shop and car boot sales. I was getting out there. I was enjoying myself with my mates, getting out by myself, my dog Ruby. Some of the best times of my life has been with second-hand gear. Number 9, rucksack. Again, many options out there, lots of designs, lots of brands. It's up to yourself what you want. When I first started out, I had a hiking bag from Aldi and it was brilliant. It did it. It came with a bag that come out from the bottom to keep it waterproof. It had all the attachments, it had plenty of pockets. It had the cushioning on the back. It did it. For at least 2 years I had that bag, but then things started to get frail and snap and that, so I had to upgrade and get a better one. The bag I'm using at the minute is my Low Alpine, and again, I got this pre-owned. It wasn't brand new, it was pre-owned, but it was in excellent condition. I won't say how much. And I've been using this. It's got so many pockets, it's unreal. For a proper winter camp though, I can't use this, but this is really good for a summer camp or if it's for a day bag while you're out in winter. But when I am out properly in the winter and I am camping, the bag that I use is a Carrymore 65 litre, and that was just from Sports Direct. And I think I only paid roughly about £35 for that. Bargain, it did us. Really comfortable and you can get everything in. It's in the loft at the minute, so I can't show you. Because I haven't really been going out camping, I haven't had time. When you're looking at bags, there's a few factors that you've got to think of. Is it gonna do you for what you're going to be taking? Is it going to be big enough? Does it suit you? Does it fit you? Is it comfortable? You don't want to be walking 30 miles a day with an uncomfortable sack around your body. Does it come with all the straps? Chest strap, low strap to keep your bag on. You've got to think about these things. Now these are just a few tips you can make your own mind up when you're there. But think about it and don't just rush in and get anything. Go to a shop, try some on. You're allowed. Number 10 is going to be, last but not least, head torch. Unbelievably important in the dark. So, bit of a story. Again, it's always, every time I go up, hike up Nick, something happens. So this time, me and my mate Connor went up. Anyway, we set off a bit too late. We set off from Cargreen Reservoir, we're heading up. We get past the final bridge, just as we're going to cross over that and start to get up, head torch runs out. He didn't have a spare one. He only had this little tiny torch. It was lashing down, so I didn't want to get my phone out for the torch. It was a complete nightmare. So when we got to the top of High Cup Nick, honestly, we were about this far away from the edge, and I only just realised because it was foggy as well, almost went down it. It was a complete nightmare. It took us ages to get the tent set up. But yeah, make sure you get a good little head torch. This has got the red light on as well. The red light's really good for if you want to stay in like a bit of a stealthy mode. Red light is less visible than white, so that's what that's for really. And also emergencies and that whatnot. But yeah, I mean, this was only Euro hike one, £6. Paid for that. It's done me. It's absolutely brilliant. It's bright as out. I don't feel like I need much more than this £6 one. I don't know why I would want it brighter than what that is. I can see where I'm going with it. But those are my 10 items that I would take out. Now, we've all got different thoughts about that and different ideas, but these are what I've watched other people's videos when I first started out and I was getting things wrong, and I was thinking to myself, how have I got that wrong? So I was watching someone, and then this is what it's come to, kind of. I've now upgraded all my kit to the point where I don't need nothing now, that's it. Until something breaks, I don't need now. I'm done. I'm done with buying stuff. And hopefully you'll get to a point where you're like that. But you'll always want something. You'll always see something out there that'll catch your eye. Oh, that's good, I want that. Always. I'm constantly looking at stuff and I have to properly refrain myself from buying it. Because my cupboard upstairs here is just chock-a-block with stuff that I've bought over the years. I keep it because I always think, well, when me and the family go away, we're going to use that. But yeah, that's my top 10 tips. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a like, this thing here, subscribe. And then if you want, watch some more. See you later on.